Okay, Kevin, so this, I'm going to show you quickly how to set or calibrate the throttle stick to the ESC. It's a little, I'm not sure which ESCs you're familiar with, but we also don't want, we like this throttle stick to be spring-loaded, not on a ratchet. Now, all would work fine if it was on a ratchet and we could leave it down at the bottom, but the idea that when you let go, everything stops, which is really good, and nobody can bump it inadvertently and make the motor run. So the way you program or calibrate the throttle stick is as follows. There are normally 4 little screws in this plate. You remove this plate, and we've put a switch on the side here. What you would do is you'll move that switch to the back. That basically is an override where instead of the ESC receiving the signal directly from the autopilot, it's coming directly from the receiver. So you're basically bypassing the autopilot. So we'll put the radio on. You lift the throttle to the top as per normal. You turn the boat on. You listen for the two beeps. There we go. And you pull this all the way to the bottom. While you have it like that, you move that back. And there you go. That's now set. That's it. Basically, if you now arm, you'll have throttle. Notice the long 10-second there, but that's the way that it is. I can run the motor, so there's no problem. What you will see, if you move this switch back, in other words, if while you held to the bottom, you didn't put that forward, it'll be the same thing as me doing this. Just, in other words, the motor runs. So had this been on a ratchet, down there would have been off and the motor wouldn't run. But we didn't want to wedge this stick, which we've done before. You sort of wedge it so it says something like that. But to make it easy for you, if you ever supply these radios for the boats and wire them in yourself, we didn't want to make this complicated. So we've taken all the other function switches that we have on the other radio, we've taken them out, used the switches that are on the remote for those functions. Oh, I should mention that to be able to achieve this, to be able to get all of the cell modes on this one switch, 3 positions, where normally this button here was used for, in some way, I've seen as the cell mode, either to be RTL or to be RTL and manual, and then some other button used for auto cell. That's not the way our boats normally work. So we've moved everything to here, and to achieve that, we've connected or installed a little PPM converter. So we're able to reallocate where the channels from the receiver go to. So the only one that's really been reallocated for now is the fact that we can move the switch here, which I think is whatever it was, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or I think it's 5, switch 5, and we've been able to to connect that to the input of channel 8 on the autopilot. So that's what that's about. You may have other ideas, but that's the way we've worked it. One last thing. So when you put this blade back, you just make sure that little wire comes through the center nicely like that. No pressure. And when you put these screws in, don't over tighten them, because there is a gap now between, because this board is, or this control panel is between the bottom and the top of the box. When you tighten this, you don't over tighten it. Just bring it to the point where it touches the bottom. And don't go past that. Don't give it that extra tweak, because it'll break through the plastic. When it stops, it's done. Another one here, and so there are 4 of them. But you don't tweak it again, just like that. Okay, I should also just mention, obviously, when we send the boat to you with this radio all set up, you won't be having to set anything on the ESC. It will come, it will work immediately. That switch will be automatically in the normal position, not for programming. So when you get the boat, you arm it, it will start running. Yeah, that's basically it.